Hey everybody, welcome back to Pixel Junkies podcast, episode 184.
Christ, Adam.
Woody's Roundup. Come on, start the show.
That's good that we're playing Red Dead this week.
Oh, are we not playing? Is this not Red Dead?
No, it's
We're
not.
like 1984, Big Brother's watching, and you're a big brother, and you're watching.
Oh, hang on. I gotta make my lighting a little bit better.
See how flawless my references are?
If you were like some sort of like literary prof at MUN, you would have just had mass suicide in your classroom.
Yeah.
Or even nowadays.
I won't joke about suicide.
We're playing...
'Cause I'm not an asshole.
You just joke about everything else. That's your one line that you won't cross.
I don't know, man. Kill yourself if you want. Don't actually kill yourself. We're playing Fallout 76 this week. We're not actually playing it, though, because the beta's not running today for some reason. Thanks, Pete. Great idea. So I recorded this yesterday.
Pete doesn't do that.
No.
It says...
Hang on. He just says no problem, but he shouts it in your ear.
I play it all the time when it's actually available to play.
Oh.
I don't think he actually plays anything.
Probably not. He's always on Twitter or whatever saying it's not my forte or whatever.
Hey, guys, have you seen this? It's just Minesweeper.
Yeah.
This is pretty good.
Yeah.
Next, you're going to tell me they got solitaire and pinball on this. You guys remember that old pinball game that used to be on Windows?
Yeah, pinball?
Well, yeah, but it was like it was like the space pinball. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, I missed that game. That was like the pinnacle of game.
I mean, you can play that right now. It's on that.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Holy shit. That's awesome.
Yeah.
On the Pip-Boy that we were talking about?
No.
Oh, because there are games for the Pip-Boy.
You know what? Pinball would be a good game for the Pip-Boy.
Now you got me started.
Yeah, maybe. Anyway,
My
How did I lose my hiccups when you got hiccups?
I don't know.
You're not even drinking anything.
No.
I assumed we'd be talking about the game at this point when I recorded it. So this is the store. You're to get right to the microtransactions in this game. This is the store. These are some of the cosmetics items that you can buy.
All right.
How fast do you unlock atoms?
I don't know because I don't think you can earn them. Well, I guess I've earned some of them because I have 190 apparently.
180.
What are atoms?
They're the microtransaction currency.
You have just enough. They give you just enough atoms so you wouldn't be able to afford anything in the store.
But you can't buy anything at the moment anyway. I assume because it's beta. But there is supposedly a way to earn them in the game, so I don't know how that works.
But
anyway,
the pop-in is real bad.
Yeah, they did
Beta.
It is a beta.
Comes out in like 2 weeks.
Oh God!
It is a beta. What that means in Bethesda lingo is probably nothing. It's like this is the game. The water when I played it yesterday was entirely broken, as in didn't show up at all, even though the sounds and effects were present.
All right.
But it did show up the last time I played it, so I don't know what the hell happened in the beta in this particular iteration of it.
The hell is that?
So, Aaron, can you explain for the audience what is a Fallout 76?
Well, if you've
Since you've played the beta, can you give us
yeah
a concise answer?
So, Fallout 76 is basically an MMO version of Fallout, where all of the human characters in the game are real players. So by that I mean you will never encounter another human that is not a player, other than things like this or mobs. Those were the scorched ghouls. There are other feral ghouls, robots, and different animals and creatures to find in the wasteland. As far as I can work out the difference, if you play other Fallout games, the Scorched are essentially ghouls that have the ability to use guns. And that's,
they're pretty much taking the place of the Raiders.
Yeah, there are. I don't think there are some dead Raiders in the game, but there's none alive that I've encountered.
There's no humans, as
yeah.
far as I know. All the humans are dead, except for other players.
So you can go to the map and you can see where everybody is. So you can pinpoint other players, but the map is quite large, and quite surprisingly, in my experience in playing this 2 times, I probably have about 4 or 5 hours in the game. I have encountered nobody that tried to kill me. Everyone was immediately like, hey, you want to trade stuff? Or like, hey, how's it going? Or here, have this item that I don't need anymore. everybody has been incredibly friendly. You see a couple
Now,
of players that I've encountered in this video.
Is that just because it's a beta and a relatively small
I mean,
group?
I don't know. I'm really kind of surprised at like the non-toxic community playing it. I mean, it could just
I've
be the
heard
beta.
a lot
but
of complaints about how the PvP system is handled, like the whole glove slap thing, like the challenge.
Yeah.
Because there's really no incentive to actually engage in any PvP.
There really isn't. I think, having played a bunch of other games with PvP in them, I feel like that's almost necessary to, I don't know, to discourage players from doing it for no reason. Because that's mostly what happens. Like, people will grief the shit out of you because there's little to no consequence for them,
Like GTA.
and they can make you, and they can make you have a bad day. Whereas in this game, griefing is really punished. There's no reason to do it. You don't get anything for it. The player you're killing doesn't really lose anything other than any scrap that they're carrying, which could be none. And then if you kill a person non-consensually, I'll say, then you get a bounty. And then everybody knows where you are and you become a target. So
That, I mean, I don't know if that's the correct solution, although personally I would rather games punish griefing more than not punish griefing, so I prefer this to GTA, where there are sometimes when you play GTA where it's just unplayable because you're in a really bad lobby. I mean, for the most part, we don't really play it a lot anymore, or haven't in the last couple of months, but there was a while in GTA 5 where we just would not play public lobbies. We would have our own, we would try to get our own private game going.
I think most people do, like, especially on console, they'll bottleneck their internet. I'm sure everybody who's played GTA on console for any serious amount of time will know the MTU workaround, I guess, on PlayStation, so that you can get into a private public lobby.
And, I mean, why wouldn't you? Because otherwise you're going to be in a... Like, you could just be doing... how many times were we just trying to do our own thing, and then all of a sudden some guy comes out of nowhere with, like, with a Savage or something and just absolutely blitzes us. And we're like, well, we were having fun until then, and now we got to wait for all of our vehicles to respawn, and...
Yeah. I think it's good for them to dial it up, like, a bit too far, starting out, and then, like, as they see how the community actually interacts with one another, sort of step it back a little bit and maybe introduce a little bit more danger. But for the most part, I think if most of the people that you're supposedly encountering are coming from the vault, I think it makes sense for them to work together more than just shoot at each other for no reason.
Yeah. Anyway, like I was saying before we broke everything, how's y'all doing?
No, Adam was talking about
I'm gonna bring
or
up the
something.
list.
All right. Yeah, everything fell apart there for a second. Don't worry about it. We were talking about the system in Fallout for the PvP. I was gonna say I don't think the PvP was an intended means of. Oh, here's another thing too. You need to get to level 5 before you can kill or be killed.
Yeah.
So it gives you some buffer time there at the beginning to get used to how the game works.
Sorry.
But I don't think the PvP is sort of like what they had planned on. It's just sort of a side effect. Because I think the way the game seems to be structured is they want people to role play and be like, they want everyone to be the people of Fallout. So, like, open up shops and, hunt things and sell things and work together and sort of become these communities, these pocket communities in the Fallout universe. And killing each other isn't really conducive to that. So I feel like they're discouraging that heavily so that people actually work together and do things. And it seems to be working so far. I mean, who knows when the game actually launches, and who knows about other people's experiences.
I mean, you might get the spicy boys or whatever.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, that's a thing in Elite where the PvP, like, griefing is heavy in Elite because there's little reason to not grief, I guess. You don't really lose a whole lot by going after unarmed trader ships, or so.
So is that to the game's detriment or to its benefit then? To just let players grief if they want to.
You're talking about Elite?
In Elite.
I think it's probably to its detriment at the moment because there's, I don't know. I mean, I guess that's sort of just the universe that the game is in, and they have taken a lot of feedback into consideration. about how griefing and how
Kill
how
your audio.
I'm making noise
Don't
over
worry
there.
about it.
I like the idea of a world where, space is dangerous, and if you're an unarmed, unshielded trader ship, that at any moment you could be like, pull out a super cruise and blown up. Like, that's just sort of one of the risks that you take. I like the idea of it being a bit more. Like, give me more of a reason. Like, yeah, I guess there's going to be suicidal murderers all over the place.
But I mean, it's the post-apocalypse. That's part of it, right?
Yeah, and I guess it really depends on what you're role-playing in Fallout, then.
Is it even the post-apocalypse? Is there's not some guy wandering around with tires and like colanders stabbed to him going, why the gates of Valhalla, shiny and chrome, mediocre, whatever the fuck he said.
Yeah, I'm sure you can get close to that in this if you wanted to.
Yeah, and you could totally portray some maniac going around killing people if you wanted to, and I'm sure there are people who will want to do that. They would enjoy getting a bounty and having people come after them. That's probably a play style. But in terms of how the gameplay loops work, there doesn't really seem to be a massive benefit to doing it.
You'd be like Morton Pete or Morton
Joe?
Todd or whatever.
Oh.
Oh, and more. So yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll have to see how that works when everything launches. But
release Skyrim for the Genesis.
For the time being, I like. For my playstyle, I don't know how everyone else is taking this in, but for me, I kind of just want to explore Fallout. Explore the world and do stuff.
Well, I mean, that's your bread and butter of a game, it seems,
Yeah.
is being plopped down a big world with lots of interesting stuff to do, and you just go mad.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you don't enjoy single-player, limited experiences, but this seems to be the games that you gravitate towards.
Yeah, and I mean, absolutely.
See,
So-
I need a narrative. I need a story, and I need characters, and I need choices in a Fallout game. And this,
Yeah, I agree.
the world is
I agree.
interesting in this, even though there's a bunch of corpses everywhere, and it seems like every quest is just going to end up with you finding a dead body somewhere because there aren't any actual
Yeah, and a
live
holotape
people.
with some text on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough.
And as a result, I don't think you're going to get any actual player choice in this game.
What is this, Mass Effect?
But the world does seem interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's really subjective because not all
Okay.
games. It also seems to do a weird thing where you just saw there where the enemies are frozen in place until you I guess enter a cell where the game considers you to be in the same space, and then they gain motion.
I keep wanting to scream
weird
at you
thing
to
about that.
look at something else on the wall, but you're not actually playing. So,
Well, if they had the beta running today, we'd be able to play it.
but
But I was gonna say, go ahead.
I was gonna say before we move on, I saw down when you were down in
wasn't
the
gonna
basement.
move
There
on.
were some weird graphical glitches where you could see through the wall. How often does that happen? Is there a lot of graphical glitches?
There seems to be a number, and no more than a traditional Bethesda game,
Okay.
I would say.
How many people were on this map when you were playing?
I'll look at the map at a couple of points, but I don't know, it's probably 30 people on the map, maybe
Okay.
more, or thereabout. But I was going to say that a lot of these games that are just open world kind of multiplayer games, you can get those sort of player choice experiences, but it's really dependent on the community. How do they interact with one another, and how do they create these different scenarios? Things in Elite, a lot of the stuff that's happened in Elite over the years has been entirely player driven, and it's a little bit on both sides where the players sort of express interest in doing something, and then the developers say, okay, yeah, we'll do this for you, and then they sort of together create this kind of cool story that happened. There was that.
Well, I was just gonna bring up the Fuel Boys, which are a clan in that game.
The Fuel Rats.
Fuel
Yeah.
Rats that bring fuel to people. Do they do it gratis, or do you have to pay for it?
Yeah, no, the Fuel Rats are just a volunteer faction that go around and help people that are stranded, give them fuel for no money. No, just they're all volunteers.
And anyway, their system was being invaded by NPC pirates, and they put the call out, being like, "We need
Yeah, you
help."
see all the white dots here are players.
Oh, okay. They were like, "Yeah, we need to put the call out to we need help, driving off these pirates. Can anyone help us? And how many ships did you say responded to the
There
call?
was over 7,500 unique ships showed up in that system, and that was only the people that reported it through third-party tools. So there could have been more than that. So there's quite a massive glitch there.
Right.
Quite a massive outpour from the community to
Get on it, Todd.
to help them. And it's stuff like that. And there was the Gnosis ship that got attacked by Thargoids. Like, that was all player-driven stuff. Like, Frontier had never planned for that. There was the Colonia now, like the second human bubble. Like, that was all player choice as well. They had planned to go way further into the galaxy than that, but players ended up making the ship not go as far through fucking around with the actual ship itself. So it's just stuff like that you can kind of create some of these cool stories, but it's really dependent on the people playing it and also the developers. How much do they listen to the community? So I think there's a bit of that, and that could happen with this game, but very much, yeah. This is all supposed to be water here, and for some reason,
Sweet. It's gone.
It's just not
There's no
loading.
water. The range on the shadows is really close.
It's kind of shitty, yeah.
And
Hopefully they change that.
the lighting in this looks good. Look, the lighting itself, I think it's using it looks better than Fallout 4 did.
Yeah.
I'm concerned about the frame rate. Apparently, this is suffering from the same issue that Fallout 4 currently has with, based on what I've heard, 1440p monitors and VSync. If it defaults to a windowed mode, borderless windowed mode, which kills frame rate for some reason in Fallout 4 and this game apparently.
Is it just a quirk of the engine?
I guess
Maybe.
so.
They did
you
mention,
can resolve it by setting it to full screen instead of borderless windowed. But anybody that doesn't know how to do that,
Yeah.
You're going to be getting sub 10 FPS
Yeah.
in a game that seems to be barely hitting 30 at most times.
I got to be honest with you. Sub 10, you might as well be reading a book.
Yeah, really. You can read faster
Pretty
than that.
much. There are a number of points. They did mention at the beginning when you load into the beta that, and again, take it with a grain of salt, that there were going to be some major performance issues while they sort out like the server load. It seems to me like the biggest frame rate hits come from like the server, not necessarily local. And like Star Citizen has the same issue where like when people are loading in, and I guess the things they're interacting with really hammer the frame rate when you're in one spot.
I mean, if I wanted to play a survival game based in a post-apocalyptic world where I fight zombie-esque characters with a low frame rate, I'll just boot up DayZ. No, but seriously, that game is garbage. Jesus Christ, that dude sped up and got blown away for his troubles.
How's VATS?
So the way VATS works initially is it's just real time.
Oh my fucking god.
You can get a card very early on that lets you specify limbs.
Yeah.
And then it basically, you just hit VATS and it auto aims for you. And you have the percentage, whatever it tells you, like 25% chance to hit.
But isn't it dumb?
A little bit. Like, I think the concept of VATS is to not be real time.
Yeah.
But the original games weren't really real time anyway, regardless. So
why would you even include VATS in a game like this? This is a game that like does not work with VATS. I feel like its inclusion is just to make it seem more Fallout-y.
Well, yeah, I would say
really.
exactly that. It's just it doesn't work in real time, and it needs to be real time to be multiplayer.
It's just expected to be in a Fallout game now, same as Brotherhood of Steel. So they shoehorn those guys in as well.
VATS is very. Kind of like it's a staple of the series, so
yeah. Still, in past games, sorry to interrupt, Adam, but in past games, VATS was like when you entered VATS, you wouldn't see the gun in front of you, and I think seeing the gun here in first person and you entering VATS and then the bullet going off wildly to hit a auto aim target looks much shittier than it does in past games where
it does.
You didn't get the same point of view as you do
particularly when you go into VATS, you can't move. It just locks to the target. So if you're not aiming at the target anymore and you shoot, then the bullet like shoots off on extraneous angles to hit the target. It's kind of dumb.
Is it like the high noon thing in Overwatch? It's
I have no idea.
high noon.
I don't know what that is.
I feel like even if they just, when you entered VATS, your gun disappears.
Yeah.
He was just
Might
trying to
be a
get
better
clean
idea.
air, and then you shot him.
Yeah, not too bad.
So if they're waiting for rain to get lathered up in the rain.
But I mean, all things considered, the game doesn't run particularly well, but I am enjoying it.
Yeah.
Like it's Fallout. This is what I expected this to be. I expected a bit more griefing, but not so thus far. And some of the stories are interesting. I mean, it's not, again, it doesn't have the traditional big main Fallout quest, but I do like the gameplay and the gunplay.
I think I'll enjoy just exploring the world,
Yeah.
but I don't think I don't see myself enjoying much beyond that.
Yeah.
I will say it will be cool to be able to play a Fallout game with friends and explore the world, but it will miss something without having the narrative there. So
Without having any characters to interact with or decisions to make, yeah, it's gonna miss a large part of what Fallout is. One thing, I almost remembered it. I almost remembered what it was. Oh no!
was it a stable? Sorry, was it a stable frame rate? Because we're not getting it now. Jesus Christ, that's not the video? Is it? Is that actually what you recorded?
It could be stuttering because of the extension, but the game isn't like it's obviously not a solid 60, but it's not an unplayable frame rate. So the stutter might just be on the TV.
You know what? Because I've been replaying all the Halo games recently. I'm up to 4 now. I finished Reach a couple of days ago.
Yeah, you're just blasting through those games.
Well, yeah, I mean they're only 6 hours long or so, and I'm apparently really good. Two things. One, I haven't got burnt out yet. I thought I would after playing like 7 Halo games in a row, but I really haven't, which shows how much I enjoy that series and how much I think a lot of the gameplay.
Wait till you get to
up.
Halo 5.
Yeah, well, it's already a significant downgrade going from Halo Reach from Halo 4 in terms of gameplay. Story is the exact opposite. Halo 4 story is amazing in my opinion.
Yeah.
But the gameplay, the AI in Halo Reach was very challenging, very rewarding to fight because they would flank, they would run, they would move. It was actually like there were actually times where they were drawing me out of my position to get a better, like I would shoot at one elite, he would run away, I would chase after him, and then 3 other elites would pounce on me like raptors, and I would just be like annihilated. I'm like, fuck, they're actually using tactics. And that was only on normal mode. On hard and legendary, I mean, obviously their IOTA's, better. Then you go to Halo 4, and Halo 4 has dog shit fucking AI, where they're just like, I'm getting shot, I'll just stand here then and take it. No running away, there's nothing. It's a really tedious. Most of the gunfights in that game are really tedious.
Also, the Prometheans kind of suck.
Yep.
I don't like those guys.
No. They're just not very well designed. Apparently, the Promethean Knight, because I've been looking into the Halo series a lot, was redesigned like 10 times. They went back to the drawing board and had to completely redesign it, including the AI, like how the character acts and his character model and stuff. So they spent so much time on the Knight that all of the other Promethean classes had to be scaled down, because originally there was going to be 6 different types of Prometheans, and that got scaled down to the Knight, the Watcher, which is the little drone thing that doesn't do anything except heal people and resurrect guys, and
the dog,
and the Seekers. I can't remember what they're called. Runners.
The dog.
Yeah, there's a name on them. Anyway, which are not interesting to fight either. Is that? Fuck, what's the name of that game?
Like root beer tapper or whatever.
Yeah.
Basically. So just Nuka-Cola or something.
Nuka Tapper.
There you go.
But the thing I was going to say is Halo Reach, I don't know if it's just my copy or if it's just, like this particular version, but that game in some sections, the only Halo game I've ever noticed that drops frame rates regularly. Like all the other Halo games are a pretty consistent 30 frames per second, and they only drop in 1 or 2 places I noticed, and that was when there was something really chaotic happening.
Yeah.
But Halo Reach was really bad for frame rate, and it was really
the others you've been playing, like the remasters or whatever for Xbox One.
Yeah.
But Reach was never remastered.
Well, no, I also played ODST on the original Xbox because I didn't get the download because I don't have Xbox Live, so I played that on the 360, and I didn't notice any frame rate issues there either. So I think and I remember back in the day that Reach had a particularly poor frame rate. Again, I don't know if it's my copy of the game or...
Also, Reach had a really bad effect from its anti-aliasing, where it ended up with a ghosted image.
Yeah.
All the movement in the game had like a ghosting effect around it.
It was weird.
Yeah, it looked awful.
Anyway, that's just what reminded me of that. Like Reach has had those problems. Reach had the best gameplay of the series, I think, after replaying them all in short order. Honestly, I think the worst gameplay in the series for me is Halo 1. Because there's just something about the gameplay in that where it feels a bit too archaic at this point. It still holds up, but it doesn't have a lot of the I don't know. 4's not. Well, I don't know. Anyway, moving on. We should move on. I'm rambling at this point. Did you have any other thoughts on Fallout 76, Aaron?
Not really. I mean, I'm enjoying it, so it's definitely not an ideal, perfect Fallout experience, but as far as a multiplayer version of the game goes, I think it's okay.
Did your beta get deleted? Your beta download get deleted?
No.
Because
Though I have heard some bad stuff about it.
Yeah. So it's like a 50 gig download, right?
Maybe. I
like
just
that?
I just hit download and then
I think it's like 47 gigs
at
or
it.
something like that.
yeah, it's not
The time zone they put on the launcher was set wrong, and so you downloaded the beta, but it actually activated at the wrong time. So however they had set it up, when you went to play it, because the time zone was wrong, it deleted all the files you just downloaded.
Oh, that's
So anybody on a cap or anybody with slow download speed probably did not get into the beta that they were looking forward to.
They did extend it another day, though, I heard.
They did, yeah. Anybody that has
So-
to pay for that extra data, though, is shit out of
yeah,
luck.
I guess. I mean, I don't know. At this point, I mean, most games that you get nowadays don't come on a disc, and even when they do, there's still some amount you need to download.
No, but like 50 gigs is a sizable
It's
amount.
not insignificant, but my point is, why are you still on a cap in 2018?
Well,
seems
that's
ridiculous
a
anyway.
question to ask the providers, not so much.
I mean, to be fair,
Yeah,
we
fair
are
enough.
living in a time
Customers.
where providers are dicking around more than ever before.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been horror story after horror story coming out of the States, and Canada's not much better.
I think
mean-
there was like some inquiry into that though recently in Canada about at least phone providers dicking around customers.
Yeah. Did you guys hear the story about in the States? I think it was Verizon received during the wildfires in California, this fire department had their package with Verizon, and they bought so much data because they said we need this data so our firefighters can communicate with each other using cellular devices. And Verizon was like, "Yep." They reached that data cap, and they reached a certain data cappage. So let's say they had 5 gigs of data. They got to 1 gig, and all of a sudden their usage was throttled. And Verizon, and they said, "Hey, we paid for 5 gigs, or it might have even been unlimited." And Verizon was like, "Well, yeah, but we didn't say that we weren't going to throttle your package. Now what we can do is we can upgrade you to a more expensive package." Where you won't be throttled, and they're like, "But this is like saving lives. We're trying to battle a wildfire." And Verizon was like, "Well, we're willing to work with you, but you guys got to work with us. You gotta work with us. Gotta slide a little bit of sugar our way, yeah." And then people lost their shit, and Verizon was like, "But we're good boys. We don't do anything wrong." And the moral of the story is Verizon and every internet service provider is a series of complete assholes, and they should all be dragged out in the street and shot. The CEOs, I mean.
Yeah, that's pretty dumb.
Way to condone violence.
Yeah, but CEOs aren't real people.
Yeah, I mean you're right. Hey, is that it for Fallout?
I guess so. Yeah, I mean, you just watch the footage.
This is a beta. We'll have more.
Yeah, we'll play it again.
More opinions when it actually comes out, I guess.
Yep.
Hey, Adam. Do you enjoy a little known property called Batman?
I like Batman.
What about?
No, I'm not wearing Batman socks today.
Huh?
I have Batman socks, and I thought I was wearing them today.
I got
I'm wearing my
cat.
Planet
I got
socks.
cat. I got black cat socks on.
Are those Captain Planet socks?
No, they're just.
Who would
Cats.
win, Captain Planet or Batman?
Probably Captain Planet because he's pretty powerful.
Captain Bat.
He has the power of all 5 elements.
Oh.
Remember that movie Fifth Element? That was about him.
Remember Thanos? He had 6 elements.
Oh God, that's a level of element that I can't even comprehend.
Yeah, right. That's
Anyway,
right.
Batman.
Did you enjoy a movie based in that universe called Suicide Squad?
Nope. Fucking hated that dog shit movie.
Well, you might enjoy another movie coming out called Birds of Prey.
I like Birds of Prey.
Which is a sequel to Suicide Squad.
No!
What was that?
Is it a sequel or spin-off?
Rare
A
Birds. Or something?
sequel. Maybe a spin-off.
Oh my God!
I guess it's both.
Because Birds of Prey is supposed to be it's supposed to be a lot of the the street level DC heroes, but the women characters. So you have like Black Canary and Batgirl and like Huntress and them, and they all team up, and it's supposed to be a girls only group because you don't often see that in comics, which is the girls only group. And writers like Gail Simone and among others have done really good stories with them. So the fact that is it by the same director? Oh,
I don't know.
oh my God, no! What's buzzing?
The door
Oh, okay.
in the game.
Thought it might have been me or something.
So I would assume the movie is going to follow that group as much as possible.
I think you
But-
just killed a scout.
Hey, Dad, Counselor Kevin.
I guess one of the main villains in this, or the main villain, is going to be a Black Mask.
Oh, that's actually a pretty cool idea. Black Mask is a good villain for a movie like this.
And
He just looks like Red Skull, but with a black skull.
Yes.
He'd just be Black Skull.
who was first, Red Skull or Black Skull?
Red Skull was first, because Red Skull came out in the 40s. and
Wow,
Black Skull-
what a ripoff, DC.
Also a racist. Black Skull.
Also, you should see the amount of
Oh yeah,
times
Black
that-
Mask, I mean.
Oh.
You should see the amount of times that DC and Marvel have ripped each other off, because like first there was Namor, and then a few years later Aquaman came out, and then DC had Green Arrow, and literally the next year Hawkeye came out in Marvel. It was like, Jesus Christ.
And don't forget Selena Kyle and
Black Cat, Felicia Hardy.
yeah.
By the way, the new DLC is out for Spider-Man, the Black Cat DLC, but I haven't played it yet.
I heard it's good, but way too short for the asking price.
Yeah, I might might see what other DLC are coming out and just get the season pass.
Yeah.
I haven't played it either because of Red Dead.
Anyway, Ewan McGregor has been cast as Black Mask.
Interesting. I don't know if I like that or not. I'll have to wait to see.
Ewan McGregor is great in everything. So, he'll probably be good in this.
I don't know about that.
Name a bad Ewan McGregor thing.
I did not like him in Moulin Rouge.
Okay, but that was just a bad movie anyway.
Yeah, but he was also terrible in it. He didn't help.
It was just a bad movie. You can't count bad overall movies, but name a performance.
I thought that his Obi-Wan in Episode 1 left a lot to be desired.
No, you're wrong. It was great.
Okay.
It was the saving grace of that film.
Really?
One of.
I thought that.
He's one of the
Jake
he's one of the better parts.
Yeah.
I thought that Jake Lloyd was the saving grace of that movie.
Yeah, they should have cast Ewan McGregor as the kid in Jingle All the Way instead of Jake Lloyd.
Yeah, I agree.
Put that cookie down or whatever.
He's like, put that cookie down, and on the other end, it's just Obi-Wan going. He's like, over 50,000. Not even Master Yoda has a midichlorian count that high.
Like, I want to be Turbo Kid or whatever. No, that's a different movie.
Hey, Adam.
Not the
Turbo
same
Man.
movie.
No, Turbo Man.
Turbo
Turbo
Man.
Man, right? Turbo Kid is Turbo Kid,
Yeah.
which was a very stupid sentence to say.
It was the first time that sentence has been uttered.
Turbo Kid has been Turbo Kid.
No, they were
Anyway,
going to call that movie Turbo Man until they realized it was that Arnold Schwarzenegger movie.
Yeah.
And they go, oh, I guess it's Turbo Kid.
They were
now."
going to get sued by Arnold Schwarzenegger.
which is the worst person to be sued by, except for maybe Lars Ulrich from Metallica.
Yeah, but I mean, I think the likelihood of being sued by
Jesus.
Lars is much greater than Arnold, because Lars has tried to sue so many people.
Yeah. I think that's what he says. Like, okay, who are we gonna sue today? Are we gonna sue LimeWire users? Yeah. What about people on YouTube? Yeah. Anyway, what do you want?
Hey, Adam.
Yeah.
Do you like Avengers: Infinity War?
I did actually really enjoy that movie.
Speaking of Thanos and
Speaking
elements,
of Thanos, well, haha, in your face, Red Dead Redemption 2 has made more money than Infinity War.
that's true.
Do you think Disney, like the Disney executive, was like, "All right, time to check to see what's made more money, my game, my franchise, my movie, or Red Dead Redemption 2, which is apparently what the kids call a video game."
Are we making any of these? Not well.
Oh,
Damn it.
Get the animators on it. Get Kathleen Kennedy up here immediately.
You're fired.
Make video games. But I'm a director. It's like, I don't care. It can't be that fucking hard.
Who's making our video games? Assholes.
I'll see. Like, there's a player here that saved me.
Oh.
It's like, well, we have one game coming. I was like, well, what is it? It's called Kingdom Hearts. All right, bring up some footage I want to see. And then, like, it just seemed like cuts to, like, 4 hours later, and he's just, like, watching this. You hear, like, simple and clean.
Or it cuts to him just swinging on a rope. More like.
He's like, one thing I don't understand about this game, that Kari chick, is she real? Is she a princess? They're sexualizing her a lot. She's like, what, 14? What's the age of consent in Japan?
12!
I do find that amazing, though.
What?
Like, I know Rockstar games have always been like the games to buy for everybody, but the fact that in the first 3 days Red Dead made 75 million more than Infinity War is like mind blowing to me. Being that Infinity War has been like a culmination of 19 films.
Yeah.
And like that's
hilarious.
This is the big what?
Just the idea of, like, all the guys sitting down and like, don't worry, like, we've got record sales for Infinity Wars. We're the top. This is the top movie of the year, probably the top movie of the decade, one of the highest grossing films of all time. Our work is paid off. And then Red Dead Redemption 2 comes out and blows them away in 3 days. It's just like, all of our time, all of our effort.
Yeah, no,
it's for nothing.
Now, admittedly, games cost more than movies, but I'm not sure that that's a big enough difference. Like, everybody goes to movies. Not everybody buys video games. So the fact that it's amazing.
This is also good for the market as well because, correct me if I'm wrong, Red Dead Redemption has no microtransactions in it, doesn't it?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not at the moment.
It shows that people are willing to buy games if the games are of very high quality and good, and you can make a shit ton of money from them if you just make a high quality product. You don't necessarily have to load it full of fucking microtransactions.
Yeah, Rockstar are probably one of the only developers now that it seems like they care about adding gratuitous detail to stuff.
Yeah. As much as it sucks that the employees, were potentially overworked and 100-hour weeks, crunch time, and all that shit.
Which should not happen.
No, as awful as all that is, the game really does speak for itself.
Yeah.
The game is
now I don't think
top tier in terms of quality. Is really no excuse for all that crunch.
I mean, you could easily get that, well, not easily, but you can get that level of quality without destroying the mental and physical well-beings of your employees.
Yes.
But so I guess what we're saying is we're advocating for that level of quality, just not how they got it in this particular circumstance.
Well, yeah,
they could have delayed the game or brought on, more people.
Yeah.
Regardless of the means of how it was made.
Did that say giddy up buttercup leg back there?
Yeah, that's what, like, robotic horse toy.
Oh.
My point is that, like, in this modern era where we have games like Fallout 76 that are, not like super generic pieces of dog shit, but aren't far from it in terms of, like, cookie cutter big open world game that's essentially empty and relies on the players to do everything.
Yeah.
Cram packed with microtransactions. It's a testament to Rockstar and their like, they don't care. It's like, oh, we want to have steam come off of freshly cut meat in cold temperatures in this game. I don't care how long it takes to do it. Just do it. It's cool.
I thought you were talking about the service for a second. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
It's really cool that in the modern age of video games where we get games like this, we also get games like Red Dead Redemption where they'll spend God knows how many hundreds or thousands of hours making something that's
Yeah,
if you didn't include it, completely irrelevant.
It's not a completely soulless husk
Yeah.
of a game.
Jim
You
Sterling,
can see the passion that went into it.
Jim Sterling came out with a video this week talking about that, but he talked about the negative. He's like, "There's no need to have this level of detail in games," and I respectfully disagree with him. Like,
Me too.
It does add to the experience.
One of his arguments is that it doesn't make the game more fun.
It does, in my opinion.
It absolutely does. When you see
Absolutely
shit like
does.
that happen, you're like, "Oh, holy shit!"
Like,
that's awesome.
My immersion.
Yeah.
Now, I think the point that he was trying to make was that, like, you shouldn't be doing this level of detail if you're trying to get a game out in a reasonable time, or if you're trying to have this level of detail, have more realistic, like, be willing to push the game back so you don't have crunch time. But at the same time, I don't think, not every game needs to have that level of detail. When it comes to that sort of stuff, especially if it's a very linear experience, like Halo would be less served for that, like, extreme level of detail because it's not as an open world dynamic game. It's more set piece oriented. Not saying that Halo doesn't have attention to detail or that more attention could be put into the game, because obviously there's room to tweak and stuff, but it makes more sense for an open world game where everything is dynamic and it's trying to sell you on the realism of the world as opposed to Halo, which is a bang bang shoot adventure.
It's a testament to, like, again, there's the crunch time and stuff, but it's a testament to the fact that they're willing to go the extra distance to make something better regardless of the cost or time involved, because it's just like you can just see, rather than it being like kind of hurriedly put together and it's a game where you tap A and move around and that's it. There's all this extra detail that they're willing to put into the game. And I think, like, that, gratuitous or not, I think that definitely increases the enjoyment, especially if Rockstar have always tried to make living, breathing worlds, and they're probably some of the closest to achieving it, especially with Red Dead Redemption 2. And, like, just how your actions for, like, definitely maybe not the first time, but definitely the closest in recent time, have come to making consequence feel like it has a bit of weight to it without hampering your experience. It's like if you do something bad, like even if you spend time in jail in the game, people will call you out on that. Like it's now part of your character.
It's one of the most reactive open worlds that has ever been created.
Like, not everybody will call you out for your shit, but it seems like, really based on your reputation, the game will react accordingly.
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing that this is, compared to 2016, which was a relatively weak year for video games, 2018, we've had so many great games come out this year. We had, my personal game of the year, I haven't played Red Dead yet, but we had God of War. Amazing game, high level of detail, especially when it comes to the story.
Game of the year is going to be tough this year.
And then we also had Spider-Man, which is another really great game. I've heard good things about Tomb Raider.
Sony's been knocking it out of the park.
Yeah, this is a good year for Sony.
Yeah.
Well, that's what happens when you invest in good IP. I mean, this is where
all single player games currently. Those big Sony titles this year.
This is, keep in mind, this is where Xbox 360 was at the beginning of the 7th generation of consoles, where they had BioShock, Mass Effect, Halo. Three really big heavy hitters.
Yeah.
And I'm sure I'm forgetting some. And it took Sony a few years to catch up, and they only really started to catch up when the Uncharted series started to come into its own. Because even the first Uncharted game wasn't really that well. It did well, but it took to Uncharted 2 before it became a really household name. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
God, those are good games. Uncharted games.
There's for all the shit that we've had, there have been some good single player games, especially the last 2 years.
Yeah. Horizon Zero Dawn, another great game to come out with a really great single player experience. Like, the single player experiences are fewer and far between, it seems. I guess
that's really down to the development time now. Like, they're still being made, but when you have massive open worlds like Red Dead and Horizon Zero Dawn, it just takes so much longer to make it.
Yeah. Well, we've gotten a lot of really interesting single-player games this generation as well. Look at games like Persona 5 or Alien Isolation, both single-player games, vastly different from each other and still very well still very well received by audiences. This has been, I mean, like, for all the shit, like, this generation of consoles
Tomb Raider came out.
has probably got more shit, in terms of there's probably more controversies and bad industry practices going on in this generation of consoles since probably the 80s. When before the crash of 83 or whatever, and maybe during the early 90s when Nintendo and Sega were really going at it, but even then it wasn't quite as predatory as this. At the same time, we've gotten some really great games out of this generation. I mean, just on console alone, there's Titanfall, there's Doom. There's the Last of Us is coming out, the new one that looks great. God of War, and that's not even counting some of the great PC games that have come out, like Pillars of Eternity. And we've gotten a lot of really indie games that started to come into their own with games like Shovel Knight and Undertale, which are fucking fantastic experiences.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's enough of me gushing.
Yeah, no, I mean, single player games still exist. They're not dead.
No, and fuck anybody who says otherwise.
I mean, Rockstar will keep it alive if only they use the multiplayer stuff in between.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I hope Red Dead Redemption 2 shows Rockstar that they should keep going with the single player.
Well, I mean, at the moment,
I was worried after GTA because it's been such a long time since GTA 5.
Adam got his finger all mangled up and got his stitches out or whatever.
Yeah.
I think I would entirely hope so, with Redemption 2 being the most successful piece of entertainment in history in terms of its first 3 days. Like, of anything, like Infinity War, anything. It's made more money. I think it was like 725 million or 745 million or something like that.
No, I'm trying to get there was a
hair or stitch?
Stitch left in.
Piece of Stitch. Sweet.
Ugh.
But if that doesn't leave a message to like Take-Two and their higher ups, then I don't know what will.
Yeah.
How much cocaine do you think has been consumed at Take-Two?
A lot.
The last couple of days?
There were some rumors that based on the supposed there hasn't been any hard facts come out about it. It's all just estimation. People are trying to figure out how much it cost to develop the game. Mm-hmm. GTA 5 cost, I think it was $226 million. And based on the amount of time they've supposedly been working on it, the amount of employees that have supposedly been working on it, which I think they said it was pretty much everybody from any Rockstar studio has had a hand in Redemption 2. I think it's like 6,400 employees or something.
All right, I get to work on Red Dead Redemption 2. What am I doing? You're getting the steam off the bleeding meat properly.
You got to do the ball sack physics, Tim. All right.
It's like you can either do the steaming meat department or the ball sack physics department. One or the other.
It's like in a room filled with like chalkboards, like all the things that need to be done. Like, well, there's not a whole lot left. Well, I guess I'll take the testicles.
Have you ever seen the GIF of the goat walking, but his testicles are hanging so low that whenever he walks, the testicles are hitting the outside of the legs because they're swinging about? It's like...
I haven't seen that.
I'll see if I can send that to you so you can toss it into the...
But there was the estimate is that it cost them over $900 million to develop.
Holy shit.
So whether or not that's like true or not, we don't have any hard facts, but that's a lot of money.
So how much have they made?
They made $745 million in the 3 days. I'm sure they've made that.
So they're
much
almost
now.
there.
They're almost back into the black, and I'm sure they will make more than that especially over Christmas and things like that. Because there are probably some people waiting to pick it up.
Yeah.
But I mean, if they can still turn a profit on probably. I don't know what else.
Almost $1 billion game.
Like what other project in history cost that much? Is there anything? Like I don't even think Infinity War would have cost that much to develop.
Project costing that much?
Entertainment wise.
I was gonna be smart.
Not like
I don't mean
like
like
SpaceX
the
or some
spaceship.
shit.
Apollo 11.
What entertainment property is like the most expensive endeavor for the people?
Goof Troop 2.
So this probably would be if it is if that number's accurate. This probably would be. And I mean, I think it paid off.
Absolutely,
it's an amazing game. And I really hope this stands as a shining example to companies like Disney to be like, yeah, I've seen that.
What?
The
balls.
goat, ball sack goat. The
Yeah.
companies like Disney and EA. I hope Disney sees how much people like this level of quality in a single player video game, and they either tell EA to deliver, or
Yeah.
they move on.
I mean, I guess there's a certain amount of risk involved. Rockstar have kind of built.
Absolutely.
They've kind of built this.
I don't expect
genre.
companies to just start throwing $1 billion at a project to make a video game like Red Dead.
Yeah.
But I would like to see them look at the level of detail and quality and see something to strive towards, instead of being like,
Yeah, that's true.
oh, maybe we don't need that much. Actually, just make it Battle Royale and put some microtransactions in it.
Well, I mean, to bring it back to Halo, because that's what I've been playing recently. In Halo Reach, which is a really, it's a game that has a great story, but not so great story, or not. It's good. The story's good and bad. There's some parts in the game where the voice acting really lends itself to the fact that, like, humanity is losing this war, particularly in the level right after you fall from space, and you're not with the rest of Noble Team. You're just going from
It's
one
in
group
the
of
city?
Marines. Yeah, you're going from one group of Marines to the other, and you're just like trying to like hold off evac centers and like get civilians to evac centers, and people are getting blown up.
I remember I really liked that part.
Well, you can hear in the radio Sergeant Stacker, who's kind of like a long-standing side character of the Halo series. He's like, "We got a Covenant Corvette incoming, ready FE2 shot 1," and it's like firing shot, and the building shakes. It's like, fire shot 2, and he's like, "How do you stop this thing?" As you hear a thing roar overhead. I'm like, that's awesome. But in other levels, it's just like, no, there's a Covenant. You can tell he's really worried. In other levels, it's like, there's a Covenant Corvette up there. Anyway. And they just like move on. I'm like, come on, guys. Or like in Halo 4 when they're doing flashbacks to the beginning of the game, or even like in the beginning of Halo 4 when Chief wakes up on the Fort on the Dawn, completely different armor, and it's like, where did he get this?
Yeah,
He should have left it in the. Watched a video recently where they were like, what should have happened is Chief should have been in the original like Mark 6 armor for up until he encounters Infinity, and at that, like, as the game goes on, his armor's starting to get like worn down, so more and more components are failing. So like the shield it only charges up to half rate, and you lose your motion sensor and stuff. Then when you get to Infinity, you get the new the Mark 7 Spartan armor, and suddenly you're back up to fighting form, and even better than before, because the energy shields are charged faster and that kind of stuff. So that would be a good way of showing like how technology's progressed and stuff. And that would have been very effective gameplay, but they didn't do that. They were lazy about it.
Yeah.
So it's that level of attention to detail that I'm glad we're seeing in games like Red Dead.
Yeah. Hopefully it keeps going. What else we got?
So speaking of a game that has a lot of attention to detail, one of my favorite games of all time is Undertale. I've talked about it a few times on this channel before. I think Undertale is less a good game and more a bold step forward in the face of storytelling, in the medium of storytelling. It's that good. The game was created largely by one man. There was a few people who like beta tested and like provided music and did some like ancillary artwork and that sort of stuff. But largely it was worked on by one dude called Toby Fox, a very talented game developer.
no relation to Tobey Maguire.
No. And he ended up
First name relation.
Undertale came out in 2015, made a shit ton of money, probably to the point where he doesn't need to work anymore.
They did stop trying to kill each other in Batman vs Superman, though. Once they found out what their first names were.
Oh yeah. Anyway, yesterday or on Tuesday, he teased on his Twitter of a big announcement coming out, and then the next day, a website went up.
Undertool.
Called Deltarune, which is an anagram of Undertale. And Deltarune is also a symbol that appears several times throughout the game of Undertale. And it's a free game that's available to download now, and apparently it has some connection to Undertale, maybe. I haven't looked into it because I haven't played it yet, but I'm really looking forward to play it because Undertale is seriously one of my favorite games of all time. Absolutely love that game. It's a game that judges you for how you play it, and it does so very effectively. Like, it's the only game I've ever encountered that judges you for how you play it, and does it way better than Spec Ops: The Line does. The Spec Ops: The Line judges you for making poor decisions in that game. It doesn't really give you a choice. You have to use the white phosphorus, spoiler alert, in that game. Yeah. In Undertale, you can do horrible shit in that game, and it's complete choice.
Spec Ops is telling a very specific story.
Yeah. I'm not trying to say Spec Ops isn't a good game. It's a great game. One of my favorite shooters, and one of the best games of the previous generation. But Undertale did that better, or rather, it was the next step forward for that kind of storytelling. So I'm very excited.
I only played a little bit of it, and I didn't like the random battles.
It makes more sense when you get into it because there's a project. There's a project, or there's a mechanic in the game where you don't have to kill enemies.
I know. I didn't like the mini games either. That you have to do to not kill them.
Yeah, I enjoyed that because it made the gameplay dynamic, but I would understand why other people wouldn't. I'm not saying like the game is for everyone, but it's certainly a great game with a very good narrative, and it's funny.
Yeah,
and
I enjoyed the non-combat stuff that I played.
You might enjoy just like watching a Let's Play, or like a series.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I guess
if you wanted to get into the story.
I feel like that would maybe... I haven't played the game myself, but I feel like, from what I know of it, I feel like that would kind of not do it justice, though.
It really wouldn't. It's really an experience you have to play on your own. Like, I played it on my own, and luckily I was able to avoid spoilers, because I played it a couple months after it came out, because I only heard about it a couple months after.
I read the whole wiki, and I didn't get anything spoiled. It's crazy.
I didn't read the wiki. I was like, like, people were like, suddenly Undertale started popping up everywhere in different YouTube channels of like, the fuck is this game? And people would always be like, this is a great game, but don't watch this if you're planning on playing it. And I'd be like, okay. And then I watch another video and they say the same things. Like, you really should play this on your own. So I played it and I was like, all right, I'll give my, see what this is about. And then like 20 hours later, I'm like, this is amazing. Oh my God. This is such an emotional roller coaster. Holy fuck. I played it 5 times through.
Really?
Yeah. Because of how the game works and how it judged me. Because if you do a certain thing in the game, it fucks over, like, it judges you very hard for doing that thing, so I had to uninstall the game and then reinstall it and then play through once to get an ending and then play through it again to get the good ending.
Why didn't you just restart?
Because the game remembers that you did the genocide run.
Can you not just edit, like, an INI file or something?
I suppose you could, but... I didn't know how to do it back
then.
then.
Take this, world.
Anyway.
Did they fix the reloading in this game, Aaron, with in Fallout 76? With the shotgun. Remember the lever action rifle in Fallout 4? It held, like, say, 8 shots, and you shot 1, and you reloaded, and you would put 8 more bullets in the gun?
I don't think I've used a lever action gun, so I don't know.
In Fallout 4?
No, in 76.
No, I mean with the shotgun you were just using. If you fired... You're not playing it now, so we can't see it, but it held 8 shells. If you fire 2, would you just reload 2 shells, or would you reload the entire thing again?
No, I think it was just the 2. But
I see what you're saying.
I haven't been observing it, so I can't say.
Because Fallout 4 did it really shitty. They got really lazy with the reload on that lever action gun.
I thought you were saying it would automatically reload after each shot, but you're saying, like, if you only fired 1 bullet, then when you went to put another slug in,
you would put all the bullets in.
That's dumb.
Yeah.
I
never noticed that.
I probably use it again at some point, so I'll just keep an eye out, depending on how long we go here.
Kind of just completely random topic. Smash Brothers, the new Super Smash Brothers Ultimate game, which is
you skipped something.
Did I? You did.
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
They did.
Yeah.
All right, fucking fine then. Witcher 3, Henry Cavill.
Speaking of Smash Brothers,
Henry Cavill's gonna smash some brothers' heads in Witcher, I'm assuming.
Because it looks like fucking Draco Malfoy's dad in Harry Potter.
Lucius Malfoy.
Yeah, Lucius Malfoy. There you go.
Lucius.
Lucius?
Lucius.
Oh,
Get it right, Aaron.
Luscious
Jesus.
Malfoy.
I like Henry Cavill.
Henry.
I think he's all right.
I've only ever seen him in Superman's, and I hate him as Superman, so I don't know.
I've only seen him in Superman's.
Yeah. You heard me.
Yeah.
I
Or
didn't
did
hate him
you?
as. I thought he was all right as Superman.
I-
The movie itself
Mans.
wasn't good, but
I blame the director more than him, but
Yeah.
he didn't.
I think he's fine.
His performance is awful, but I think it's because he received bad directing.
Sure.
Also, Superman's OP.
There was a
That's not the
screen
problem.
test. They released a screen test of him as Geralt because he'll be playing as Geralt in the Witcher Netflix
Try again,
show.
I say.
They'll be trying to play Geralt. You mean?
No, just try the makeup again because it looks awful.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't look great.
It doesn't look like Geralt.
I haven't seen this, so.
It's gonna take
Luscious
getting
Malfoy.
used to. I don't think I'm gonna like this show very much because
Also, there's like
I'll
a
be.
Hispanic chick playing Triss or something. She doesn't look white. I don't know. Maybe
Yeah,
she is.
they got all they got some racial stuff going
Triss
on
is supposed
with
to be
cast.
like a pale-skinned redhead, not like an Hispanic black-haired chick. Maybe they'll dye her hair
Yeah.
red.
I mean,
for
the games made characters look a little different than they do in the books as well.
But, yeah.
I fucking hate when you go on different news websites to look at an image or whatever, and all you see is like you see the website page for a second. It's like, we see you're using ad block or you haven't enabled cookies. You should go ahead and disable that if you want to view our glorious content. Like,
Yeah.
nope.
And what you do is you right-click on that thing that pops up and say block this ad. That's how you get around that. Try again websites.
He looks like if like some bodybuilder was trying to like cosplay as Legolas, but had too fine too powerful a bone structure to pull it off.
If Henry Cavill is Legolas for Halloween.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it looks like.
Yeah, I mean, I think he looks all right. I think
It's
he
okay.
could. I think he can pull it off.
That
I don't-
screen test isn't promising.
Yeah, I just really don't have high hopes for this show.
And yeah, I mean the game probably makes characters look different than the books, but I think the games are what they're should be basing it on because that's what everybody knows.
Yeah, fair enough.
At least in North America.
I mean, to be fair, like a lot of different characters have had different interpretations. Like Christian Bale's Batman is way different than Michael Keaton's Batman, which is way different from the animated Batmans, and all of them are equally valid. Although the animated Batman is the best. That's a very low.
What about
res
Adam
texture.
West Batman?
Again, equally valid.
yeah,
The only true Batman.
I think it's fine to do some different changes and stuff to different characters, but I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of stuff like in Buffy. We have a Buffy reboot, and Buffy is an African American girl now, so it's like
Are they still doing that, or are they not?
maybe they
doing
are, but that was the intent
Yeah.
anyway. It just seems like gratuitous recasting for some reason. Like you're changing the character up to be more diverse because there's not enough diversity or something. It just seems I don't know.
I mean, I don't have any problem with more diversity, but I like how they did it with Spider-Man, where instead of making Peter Parker black, they created a new charter, Miles Morales.
Yeah, I mean,
'Cause Miles
I don't
Morales
have-
is awesome.
I don't have a
He's
problem
cool,
with
dude.
I don't have a problem with diversity either. But again, exactly that when that came up and we talked about the Buffy reboot, like don't take an existing character and make them somebody else. Just make a new character that has their own unique qualities and can stand on their own.
To be fair, I'm not 100% against casting other characters, predominantly white characters, with actors or actresses of different race. So, like a white character suddenly becomes black or anything. I'm not necessarily against that. But if you're going to do that change, you have to make sure that the actor or actress in particular is very, is good and does justice to the character, and it can't just or because you have a particular vision for that
I
character.
think you should be hiring based on skill, and not
Yes,
just to be diverse.
yeah, that's the point I'm making. Yeah.
Yeah, and me too. I mean, it's not the fact that somebody's a different color skin. I think it's the fact that it seems to be like there's a massive outpour of diverse casting for the sake of it nowadays, rather than there's a big broad range of
Well, what do we know?
good actors.
We're a bunch of gross white dudes.
yeah.
I feel like those ghouls are having a really hard time of things. See how much they tripped over each other? Like, oh, we're so bad at this. Oh,
Hey Adam,
Yeah.
how's Smash Brothers going?
So the new Smash Bros. Game is coming out in a couple of weeks. Super
There's
Smash
another
Bros.
one?
Ultimate. Yep.
Jesus Christ.
It has, I think, 75 characters in the roster confirmed so far, and then there's going to be an additional, at least an additional 5 additional DLC based
I can't wait
There's
characters.
to
one of
hear-
those Waluigi. He's one
No.
of my favorite characters.
No.
Oh.
No, Waluigi's been confirmed as an assist trophy only, and the internet, including myself, is
As a
fucking
what?
pissed off.
Why?
An
What's in
assist.
it?
So you know how did you ever play any of the Smash Brothers games, Aaron?
I played the first one.
You know how you could like throw Pokeballs and Pokemon will come out for a little bit and help you?
No.
Well,
I thought you could be Pokemon.
you could, but you could also, as it's. I mean, this is not a game with a lot of attention to detail. You could throw the Pokeball as Pikachu. You could get an item which was a Pokeball, throw it, and then Venusaur would come out, and then he would use like Vine Whip, and he would like hit your enemies for a little bit or your opponents for a little bit, and then he would go away after like 20 seconds or something. Assist trophies are like that, but for any character. So you can throw out an assist trophy, and suddenly like Shadow the Hedgehog comes out and damages your enemies for you, or like Dr. Wily or whatever. It's not always villains. And Waluigi...
Shadow would cut them up because he's so edgy.
Oh, yeah. He probably
man.
uses guns and his cool trench
Yeah.
coat.
Careful with all that edge.
Anyway, Waluigi's been confirmed as one of those, so he is in the game, but he's
There's
not a fighter.
75 fucking characters, and Waluigi's not.
Well, they
one of them.
included Dark Samus, who is literally just a reskin of Samus. Dark Samus is, I believe, Samus was covered in some sort of weird alien like energy.
They're gonna release Waluigi as a DLC character or something.
I hope
probably.
so. Also want Master Chief, and I was talking to some friends earlier today, and they were like, well, why isn't Master Chief in this series or a Spartan? Because that would be really cool. Just because it's Spartan.
But it's
Wasn't
Nintendo.
Yeah, but it has Solid Snake and Sonic and Cloud in it, and
All characters that have appeared in Nintendo games, though.
no, what? No, Cloud's never appeared in. Well, I suppose no. Cloud Cloud came out in the PlayStation, and I don't think it's ever featured on a Nintendo console.
Final Fantasy is, though.
Yeah, I suppose. But
Final
like,
Fantasy has been on a bunch of Nintendo consoles.
yeah, but
Metal Gear Solid: The Twin Snakes was a GameCube exclusive.
Yeah, okay, but at the same time, I feel like it's not that big an issue to say like, hey, let's bring the Master Chief into things. You could say like, hey, he's a big gaming icon, bring him in, just to have something from Microsoft. I'm not saying the game is not going to be dog shit without Master Chief, obviously, but I think it would be. I would hope that it would be pretty easy to bring him into the series. I mean, you have 75 fucking characters in the game.
Yeah,
You can't
I
get
guess.
rid of one. You can't get rid of the fucking. God, I can't remember. What's that shitty Nintendo game where you do nothing?
Mario,
No, the other one.
Zelda.
Came out in GameCube. Everyone fucking loves it.
Animal Crossing?
Yeah, the Animal Crossing villager. He's in the game for some reason, but not Master Chief. God damn it. I fucking hate Animal Crossing. A boring game. Really boring game. I can never get into Animal Crossing. You do nothing in the game. You just wake up and walk around the town, collect
I
fucking
played
apples.
the first Animal Crossing for a fair bit. I enjoyed what I played of
Could
it.
never get into that fucking series. I do
It
not
was-
see why people like
Yeah,
it.
it was just kind of a
It's a
time-wasting thing.
Yeah, and like congratulations, I can do that in any other game. And like I don't know, Pikmin, which also came out in that
I
console.
don't know. It was a little heartwarming. It was just like a friendly little village, and you could talk to people in the village. And you could like pay off your house and decorate your house and stuff like that.
Congratulations, I can do that in fucking Sim City.
Yeah, I know.
Or The Sims,
I know,
sorry.
but it was it was kind of fun. I didn't play any of the sequels though.
Anyway,
But Waluigi should be in this game.
they announced that there's going to be a story mode. So all of the Smash Brothers games have kind of had a single player campaign, but it's more like just like you progress from one stage to another, fighting specific fighters, and then you move on. Except for Brawl, Brawl had like an actual story with like.
It had a side-scrolling thing, right?
Yeah, and it was interesting in terms of I've never seen a fighting game try to do something like that before, and it was fairly successful. It tried to bring in all the characters. This game appears to have, I think it's called like Smash Bros. The Brightest Light, or like the Brightening Light, or something like that.
Sounds Japanese to me.
And
What
well,
was that?
I'll
it's
show
one
you.
of those supply drops.
I'll show you a trailer for it afterwards. And there's a moment where like the game, I think, because Smash Bros. Is made by the same guy who makes Kirby, to make a very long story short, all of the Super Smash Bros. Characters are captured and turned evil, except for Kirby, and Kirby has to go around and rescue them, and when you rescue other fighters, they're added to your roster, so you can, like, fight as them instead of Kirby. But, like, as soon as that happens and Kirby's the only one to break away, like, a super Japanese song comes out. It's like, oh, there's the Japanese in this. It's, like, very jarring, but it looks interesting.
Piano with some strings?
No, it's piano with some singing, like a woman singing. I'll show it to you. I won't show you the full trailer, but I'll show you that part. No, you're gonna love it. But yeah, there's it looks good. I'm excited. I want to play this game. It has every fighter from every Smash Brothers game in it, and it has every stage from every Smash Brothers game in it. So I'm excited.
But not Waluigi. Nor Bowserette.
See, this is why I should be in charge of Nintendo, because
Bowserette was never an actual character.
Yeah, he would be, she would be. They would be.
I thought it was Bowsette.
First off, it is.
Okay.
Second off, they would be if I was in charge of. The first thing I would do, I wake up and I say, "Sir, like, look what they've done to our characters. Like, brilliant! Make it a thing. Make it canon. This is canon now. This is absolutely canon. Just to fuck with some heads, so that like they do gender bent character drawings of all the characters. Hopefully, get them added to the canon, which I will do because I want to just run everything into the ground.
I wouldn't call it Bowsette though. It's just Peach with a black shirt.
No, it's Bowser with a super crown. It's actually Bowser that turns into like a Peach hybrid. It's like you don't even know the lore.
I don't know. I saw some.
Wait, does the crown make you have tits?
So what the crown does, it's supposed to be a item for Toadette. That when Toadette wears it, she turns into Peach.
But with a mushroom head?
No, she just turns into Peach, and so Bowser put it on and turned into like a Bowser Peach hybrid.
Wait, so is Peach a mushroom?
Well, she's Princess Toadstool.
There's a lot of mushrooms been in her.
So do mushrooms turn into people when they get powerful?
You're asking me a lot of questions.
Is Mario the same race as Toad?
Apparently Blizzard is giving out free copies of Destiny 2. So I don't think that game is doing well. My friends Trish and Jeff, again, shout out. They woke up this morning, they were like, hey, did you get a copy of Destiny 2 over Battle.net? And they were like, yeah, did you? Yeah. And they said, like, is anyone else getting this? Is Destiny 2 doing okay? And I'm like, no, probably not. I mean, they gave it away free last month on PlayStation. So
Or did like somebody hack their account and buy it or something?
Or they give it away for free. It's like, I don't want it, you take it. And they're like, no!
It's weird. Yeah, because, I mean, I got a copy of the game with my graphics card, and then I also got it free when it was on the PlayStation Humble thing. Well, not Humble, the PlayStation member Plus thing, yeah. And then it was on Humble as well. So I have 3 copies of the game, and I haven't spent a cent on it.
Wow.
And then now these people have a copy of the game as well, so I don't think Activision liked this game. Or maybe people don't like this game.
Well, maybe they shouldn't have fucked around with the game and made it like a complete waste of time to play with no fucking in-game content originally.
But I guess technically I bought my graphics card, but I didn't buy it because Destiny came with it. I bought it because it was the cheapest 1080 at the time. Or not the cheapest, but the cheapest Asus 1080.
So I don't know. I mean, Destiny had such potential for its story. It could have been an amazing game, but they didn't do that.
Cool outfit, bro.
They didn't do that at all, and that pisses me off.
Yeah.
Salute Uncle Sam, Aaron, like the good, standing American citizen that you are.
That's fine. It's fine. Yeah.
More like analyze.
Speaking of graphics cards, apparently the new 2080 Ti's are exploding.
What's with that look of contempt from Andrew?
That's just how I look at all people.
Okay.
Don't worry about it. Don't take it personally.
What? Well, there we go. 1080 Ti's are exploding. Don't buy them.
Oh, yeah. So, a lot of people are reporting that their $1,800 graphics cards are dying.
That's good, considering it just came out.
Yeah. So, it's only $1,200 in the States.
What do you mean dying?
They die?
They
don't work anymore after
Oh, that's
a while?
good. How much did you say these things cost?
In Canada, $1,800.
Oh, that's good. That's only, like, what, like That's like 3 Xboxes.
Is that with tax?
Uh,
Probably not.
I think it. I think when it came out and it was available for purchase, I remember seeing it for $17.99.
I could buy
Jesus
I could
Christ.
buy 3 of these for that price.
$17.99
That's too much. That's too expensive of a phone.
It's the Note 4 though.
with
Well,
shipping.
That would be the Note 9.
with shipping and tax. That's like $2,500 probably.
Yeah,
That's
it's
too
a
much.
lot of money.
That's too much.
Anyway,
Are they that good of a graphics card?
no.
Uh,
I mean,
No, they're
besides
like-
the fact that they explode or whatever.
Reports are that they're about 30% faster than the card Aaron has right now,
That doesn't-
which costs.
yeah, that was about 800 or 900 with tax, but
Yeah, you're
1,000,
spending about
1,100.
double the price for
Close
a
to.
third of the performance.
that
boost.
doesn't seem worth it.
No.
yeah.
I think it can get to a point.
Also,
where,
RTX technology, ray tracing technology, isn't even out yet.
Yeah. Was it available in Tomb Raider, or was that like
no,
not? Okay.
it's not. Apparently,
'Cause-
it's not.
Because Tomb Raider had ray marching. and
Yeah,
that's
I don't know what
separate.
that is.
That's like, I think I read up on it, some definition of it, because the new Elite update introduces ray marching to the lighting system as well. And I was like, what the fuck is this? What's the difference between ray marching and ray tracing? Supposedly, I think the basics of it is that marching is just like kind of a general feel of the environment. Like ray tracing is like shooting a bunch of photons everywhere, and then it like the light that bounces back, you get like real reflections and real shadows based
Yeah.
on the materials in the environment. Ray marching, I think, is just a very general sort of version of that, rather than being very specific. Though I'd have to read into it again because I
Yeah.
can't remember exact. But
Anyway, people are suspecting this is because of something to do with the GDDR6 that the cards are using, the memory, the type of memory, and how it's arranged on the actual board. It might be overheating, it might be falling apart. Nobody really knows for certain yet, and Nvidia is of course denying that it's any big problem, and it's like, hey, these are normal issues that come with graphics cards.
It's kind of like what Nintendo did when a
Yeah.
lot of their Switches fucking just didn't work.
Yeah. Maybe take things a little more seriously, I guess, for $1,800 cards.
Yeah. If you're paying that much money, the card should like give you a blowjob as soon as they open up, as soon as you open up the package from Amazon. Like, oh, get off my dick. Oh, I don't know.
yeah, I mean,
Sorry.
I mean, you could probably just buy an $1,800 hooker.
Yeah, but you get you get that for the night. But I mean, graphics cards are for a couple
The
of months.
night, not if you buy. If you just got like a dollar hooker, you can get her for $1 an hour hooker. You can get her for
But
$1,800.
do you want a $1 an hour hooker for 1,800 hours?
I don't know, Adam. Do you?
Well, here's the thing: man or woman, whatever it is, and it doesn't even have to be for sex. If somebody's willing to sell their time for $1 an hour, it's probably not somebody I want to associate myself with, because they're saying I'm scummy enough of a person to, well, not I'm a person who's willing to sell myself, but I have no standards, and I don't think my time is worth anything, so I'm willing to do it for an absorbently little price.
What if they're playing the long con, man? That's $1,800 at the end of the day. At the end of however many days $1,800
At the end of the day,
is. How many days is that?
well,
1,800 divided by 24. Quick maths.
what are you doing by 20? Oh, hours per day.
Yeah.
I don't know. Quick math. Let's use a Rory.
Use Rory. I'm too tired to think right now. I haven't even done the
75 days.
75 days.
Exactly 75 days.
There you go.
So
That's a lot.
At the end of 75 days, you got $1,800, bro.
I'll pay you $1 an hour, Adam,
Yeah.
if you pay me $2 an hour.
No.
All right.
I think that's the worst comment ever made in the Pixel Junkies.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
We can end it there, I
Yeah.
guess.
So I just looked up the difference between ray marching and ray tracing, and essentially ray marching is it stops the ray periodically to see what's around it. Whereas ray tracing, it just does the like exact lighting along its path until it hits something.
Oh.
which would probably be a pain in the ass in a space game where a ray could just go for infinity.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, there you go. So that's it. This is Fallout 76. You know, take it as it is, I guess. Sort of a buggy MMO. That's kind of fun.
All right.
But there you go. I guess we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Enjoy Red Dead. Bye.